MLS Aces podcast. This is your host, Tom Sweezy, joined for another interview. We got Logan Farrington of FC Dallas. Logan, how are you? It's a nice hot summer day. I'm sure down in Dallas it's even hotter. I'm up in New York. So how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, Just got done with training. You're right. It is a hot one down here. So uh, just just getting through the heat, but getting used to it.
Can I ask you a super easy, quick question right off the top? Hot Dog Farrington, where's the nickname come from? I'm sure it's been out there. I know it's been out there, but
Yeah, I believe it came from last year when we had Dollar Glizzy Night, Dollar Hot Dog Night, and I won Man of the Match that night, and they handed me like a big tray of hot dogs, and they didn't tell me what to do with it, so I ate one, and then I was throwing the rest out to the fans, so it kind of stuck, and they like sticking with that.
You had a decision to make. It was either go like full Joey Chestnut in that moment, or just toss him out. I get it.
I just wanted one bite, and then I was like, let me just give some out. I don't need to waste all of these.
I love it. Well, this is year 2 for you, right? I'm sure last year the transition from college to the pros was one step, but now, what challenges are you experiencing year 2? What things are maybe a little bit easier? What's the transition now? You get it a little bit more, right? What's this transition?
Yeah, I think it's less of a transition, more of like a learning curve kind of thing. I think there was that big transition from college to pros, which is a huge jump, and you see a lot of guys struggle with that. I struggled with it myself, and I think I worked hard enough, and I was fortunate to have a good support system around me to help me adjust to the level where I feel very comfortable playing here now, and I think I can even go to a higher level, which is what I'm working for, is to be a better version of myself and a player. But this year, I would say like the biggest thing wants to start. Everyone wants to play every minute. I haven't done that this year. I've kind of had a different role. I've been off the bench a bit more, and I understand that there's competition on the team. We have a lot of good players around me, so I have to work a little bit harder. And I think that is more of my learning curve, or that's my struggle this year, is just kind of earning that starting role more consistently than maybe 1 or 2 games at a time, and then being a bench off the bench player more games, 3-4 games in a row, and then starting again a couple. So for me, I think that's the next step for me, is transitioning into that kind of role, which is what I'd like to be.
To me, it's optimizing the minutes you get, right? Making the most out of whatever minutes you can, whatever performances you can, and doing the work and training behind it as well.
Exactly.
Before I dive more into the present day career, I had one listener reach out to me with a question. He asked me if you could talk a little bit about your time with USL League Two and Ventura County Fusion. You got time in League Two,
of course,
balancing the NCAA schedule with the summer league.
Yeah. Now, honestly, I have nothing but positive things to say about USL 2. It was kind of a crazy way I got out there. That's a story for another day. I could talk to you about that all day. But let's say I was willing to give me a shot and give me housing out there, because I was very late finding a team. They gave me a shot. Honestly, I was going out there from a very low D1 school to a place where I knew there was a lot of players from the top 10 schools. So I didn't really expect to play too much. Honestly, if I would have went out there and practiced the whole summer, I would have been fine. I would have learned from them, seen what happened. I think I got a start at the beginning of the year. The first game was a start, and I ended up scoring the game winner. And from there, my confidence was through the roof, and the coach liked me, and I started every game since then, and we won the national title. So that was just an amazing feeling. We had a great group of guys there. We were living with, fives, and these guys are still my friends. Like, I talk to some of these guys on a daily basis still, even though we're in different parts of the country, but made lifelong friendships there. Had an experience I'll never forget, and then ended up getting a really, really nice transfer off of the back of that season.
I was gonna ask, I didn't know the exact timeline, so I apologize about that. But was it like your performance in USL League Two opened up eyes to a larger college at that point, and you made the switch?
Yeah, it took a little bit longer than I'd hoped. I actually had a lease on my house in Milwaukee for a year right before I went out for USL 2, so I had to stay in Milwaukee until the spring season. So I ended up playing 3 seasons at Milwaukee and then transferred after that season because I was ready. I felt confident that I could play at that level. And I was wanting something more and I wanted a little more exposure. And that's when I went out to Oregon State. I committed to Oregon State, and then I actually went back up to Ventura for one more season there. So I played 2 summers there, had an incredible season there. Like, I was the USL 2 player of the year, like, had a bunch of goals. We ended up we only made it to the quarterfinals, so that was a little bit disappointing. But from an individual standpoint, it really helped boost my value, I would say. I think the coaches watching, the Oregon State coaches were like, oh, we got a player here. And so that was kind of what I was hoping, is that I could put on a show and they'd be really happy with having me at Oregon State.
I mean, look, that entire career path boosted your value. You get drafted 3rd overall in the 2024 Super Draft, right? You come out, I think you make like we said before, you make the most of your time getting minutes with FC Dallas. And then at the end of the year, you also get a title in your first year. What was that experience? What was that conversation like, maybe? Like, you're like, okay, you've been primarily an FC Dallas player all season long. I think you had like 1 or 2 appearances with North Texas. We're pushing for this playoff run now, and then you guys go and win it all.
Yeah, so I wasn't really involved with North Texas too much throughout the year. I think I really only played 1 game, just because I wasn't really getting games with the first team. I think there was 2 games in a row that I didn't get minutes, so they said they'd like me to go play a game down there and get minutes, which I was completely fine with. You know, game minutes are game minutes. I'm not one of those players that thinks it's a demotion or like you're punishing me. You know, like, I wanted to use it. Maybe I wasn't exactly where I should have been. The coaches thought I wasn't at the level there, so I wanted to use that opportunity, maybe get some confidence back, get my touch back a little bit, and that was what I did. And then they came to me towards the end of the season after I started to get a run of games with the first team, where I was starting quite a bit, got some goals, some assists, and they offered me the chance and said, hey, we'd like for you to play in playoffs with us. If you'd like, you don't have to, but we'd really appreciate it because we'd want to make a run this year. And I actually had to go sit on the bench for 4 North Texas games, just rostered.
Right?
To be qualified to play. So I would just go sit on the bench and watch the whole game there. So it was kind of nice. Got to support my friends there a bit. And then ended up playing in, I think it was the quarterfinals. Got injured in the semifinals. And then had to come off, and then had a week to like kind of recover, and then played in the final. So it was incredible. It was a lot of fun. Great group of guys, great group of coaches, and it was just amazing experience.
You get to say you won an MLS Next Pro League title. You had 10+ goal contributions for Dallas your rookie year.
I would say so too. Yeah.
So I mean, you deserve 25, right? You had the managerial shift last year from Nico Estevez to Peter Lucine to now Eric Quill. I'm sure that's tough on any player, but especially a young player trying to figure out how to be a professional soccer player at the same time. What are some things you feel like you've learned from some of these managerial changes, and what's Eric like in the locker room? I've had some conversations before with some FC Dallas folk, and I've heard Eric's a pretty intense guy.
Yeah, I think changes always are difficult, and changes usually happen when teams aren't doing the greatest. So I think, I mean, we can say we didn't make playoffs last year. It wasn't a great year last year overall. Had 2 managers, a lot of coaching staff changes, a lot of player changes. So I would say it was definitely a difficult year, and then let alone I was adjusting myself to the new chapter of my life and career. So that was difficult. I think for me, when I play with different managers, I try to pick up at least a couple things from them. And from Nico, I think I became a lot more like positionally aware, because Nico was a lot more of a tactics guy than anything. I feel like he loved to think about the game, the positioning, and some of the coaching staff worked with me a lot one-on-one to figure out not just the 9 role, but also in the 10 role that I played a little bit last year, because obviously Musa was the 9. So I learned a lot there and kind of learned the different types of positioning. Then Peter came in and he kind of changed up the style a little bit. He was more of an aggressive, like direct player and type of coach, and he wanted the team to play in me. He brought out the aggression in our team, and then we transitioned to Eric, and I'm glad Eric was able to have a preseason, because I think maybe Peter missed out on that, and that's just kind of the way it goes. But you never know how it would turn out differently if someone has a preseason. So that's a big deal. I think we had a fantastic preseason this year. Was able to gel. We didn't have that. We did have a couple in and out guys like changing. So that's again difficult, but that's going to happen every year, and that's why you have a month and a half to get ready. So I think, yeah, Eric is an intense guy. I think he can flip that switch into a second where he's talking and then he gets really fired up about something. But to be honest, that's my type of coach. I like a coach that is gonna care just as much as me or more. Like I need. He's technically our leader, so he needs to lead from the front. He needs to lead with that energy, and I do like that.
And I mean, like, he was a former player of FC or Dallas Burn at the time, right? So he knows what he wants this organization and team to look like, play like, feel like, and I think that was a strong point as to when he got hired. We were talking about it on the show, and really like something I role.
Mhm.
You mentioned, right, like understanding tactically a little bit more under Nico Estevez. This year, you've now gone from playing up top, from playing the 10 to up top to playing a little bit out wide. Third Degree Net wanted me to ask you, what's it like playing out wide versus maybe up top as a true 9? And is there that much of a difference for you when you're out there adjusting, I guess, on the fly?
Yeah, I think there definitely is a difference. As a 9, as a true 9, you don't really see the ball going forward as much. Your kind of back is to goal a lot. You're doing a lot of hold up play. Maybe you're making runs in behind. But you're kind of fighting a lot of the game. Like you got to be tough. You're getting hit from the defenders, and you're more waiting for your teammates to create that chance for you. Which, looking at a striker like Musa, like he's very good at that. Like he's always in the right position. He's doing so well for us. And obviously, it's hard for me as a younger guy to start over a player like Musa. Like realistically, that's not going to happen. So being able to adjust to different roles and kind of show my value as a player has transitioned me into like that 10 role or that winger role. And I don't mind it, actually. It's a change. I will say that it's a bit harder to score goals and maybe get the stats as much. But I think I get to be a little bit more involved in the game, which I think I can kind of influence the game in that way where maybe people haven't seen me play like that before because I haven't had the opportunity at 9 to show that I can dribble a little bit or make plays like that. So I enjoy it. It's a little bit more running, I feel like, on the wing. Defensively, it's a little bit more work. But I think I'm getting better at defending as well. So always trying to learn. But it's also nice to play with Musa as well because we have a very good relationship off the field. We're roommates on away trips. We spend a lot of time together. So I think that helps on the field as I kind of know him as a person and a player. I know what he wants, and I think he can say the same for me, and we kind of work off each other really well.
Obviously, Musa, he's coming from a career in Europe before here, and then there's the constant rumors and ties of him getting a transfer back and everything like that. What is it learning from someone like him that that you're learning for the now, right? You're trying to implement into your game, but also focusing more maybe on the longevity of your.
Yeah, I've talked about this a lot. I think every interview, someone always asks like, "Who do you learn from?" or "Do you have a good relationship with these guys?" So it's a question I like answering because it is true. I think kind of what I said earlier is like you learn from a couple of things from each coach. I think that also goes for veteran players and players that are of the top quality in Europe or who've been in the MLS for a long time, and you can see their quality. But especially Musa, since he's in my position, played in Europe, which is one day my goal to play in as well. And a lot, especially last year, I think when he first was introduced, it was very interesting to see how he was as a player, like his movements in the box. When he decided to make a run, when he decided to walk around a little bit, the type of shot he takes in the box, the type of movement he makes. So I think I always try to analyze, and I think we are different players. So I'm not trying to copy his exact play style, more than kind of refine some smaller things that I think he's very good at.
I mean, look, I think that's completely fair, and you guys added another extremely talented player this offseason in Lucho Acosta, right? What's it been adding a former MLS MVP into the locker room? Obviously, someone who is probably in the top percentile of talented players in the league. What's that been in, the effect, I guess, on the Dallas locker room and the rest of the entire
Yeah, I think that quality, that caliber of player is someone who's going to always be respected. And obviously, we know he's a former MLS MVP and the success that he's had. So we get excited to play with him, and even in training, he's a quality player. Like, it's hard to defend. I hate defending him because he moves so fast, and I'm not a defender as it is, so it's even more difficult when I get near him. He kind of just does a couple 1-2s and he's out. So no, it's always good. I think the more good players you have, the better your team will be, and he raises the level like a lot of the other guys do on a team.
How did you feel about the Dallas Burn throwback kits? Because those were up there compared to a lot of the other ones I saw.
I loved them. I have right here. Here's my.
Is that it? Okay, I couldn't tell.
That's it from the game. They allowed us to keep one. And I don't know. It's fantastic. I love black jerseys. I had one in college. Played most, and I don't know, just something about it. A black jersey with some accents.
I mean, like the Oregon State, right? That's black with a nice bright orange. Like that's a nice combo
exactly.
too. I like it.
Yeah.
The one of my final questions for you here, a little less soccer related, a little bit more personal for you, right? You're from Wisconsin.
Right.
Are you? It's from the Milwaukee area. I've only been to Wisconsin once, so I'm learning.
Well, a little south of Milwaukee.
Got it.
About 30 minutes south.
Okay. So did you grow up like Packers Brewers fan? Because I also saw it was kind of near Chicago. So I don't know what is the sport.
To be honest, I'm not a big MLB or NFL fan. I think both sports are a little slow for me, especially MLB. I've been to quite a few Brewer games since it's close to us, and we got tickets a lot. So I've been there. The atmosphere is pretty nice, but the actual game of baseball, I'm not a big fan of. And then the Packers, I've never been to a game, but I've been up to the stadium for a tour, and the stadium's incredible. But again, it's like 3-4 hour games, a lot of commercials, like a little, and the games there are cold, so I don't really want to go sit in the cold for 3 hours. Like, not really my thing as much. I like the NBA. I like going to Bucks games.
Okay.
Actually, when the Bucks won the finals in 2021, I was outside the stadium watching with like 60,000 people on the big screen. So that was a lot of fun. And obviously I was in Milwaukee for school, so we were close by. So I'd say NBA was more the second sport that I was watching.
How are you feeling about the Giannis situation going on?
To be honest, I haven't been keeping up too much. I don't really know. I know Giannis is a legend in Milwaukee. He's an amazing player. So I don't know if he's wanting to transfer or get traded. Hopefully he doesn't leave, but
Look, I'm a Knicks fan. I was hoping for a good while that Giannis would want to come play at MSG. That was my own thing, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think he's hanging around Milwaukee for a little bit. Logan, I have one final question for you, and it's a new question I'm asking everyone who I interview on the podcast. I'm going through a little bit of a personal kind of like trying to be grateful about life and focus on like the things and be positive, right? So I'm asking every single person at the end of the interviews, what are 3 things that you're grateful for right now?
Yeah, I think number one, I'm grateful for all the people like around me, my support system. I couldn't be here without them. My dad actually lives right next to me now, in the apartment building next to me. So a little bit of space, but still close by. So he's my biggest support system. He taught me most of the things I know. But also some of the people that aren't involved in soccer, they're still nice, like a break from soccer. So my girlfriend, my mom, my sister, close friends that I have from around the country that I still talk to on a daily basis. I think having that support system outside of soccer has helped me a lot. And I think everybody has their own support system, and they will say the same thing. Number 2, I would say just thank God for the opportunity that I'm healthy. I have the talent to be here, and that I wasn't able to do this by myself. So thankful to God. And then also just thankful for good health. I've been very fortunate. I've seen one of my friends from Oregon State. He got drafted here, and before he even had a chance to make a debut, he tore his ACL. So I see guys with bad injuries every day that are out for 8-9 months, and I just feel like horrible for them. And maybe it's a little selfish to kind of compare myself, but I'm like, wow, I'm so lucky I get to come out every day and tie my boots. So just
No,
grateful for that as well.
I don't think it's selfish. I think I can be grateful that I woke up this morning and I'm good enough health to
Mhm.
come here, have a conversation with you, and go for a walk and do whatever else is part of my day. So it's not selfish at all. I think being grateful for health and all of that is just fine. Logan, thank you so much for coming on, talking with me a little bit. Good luck to you in Dallas the rest of the way this season, and hopefully we can chat again soon.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you very much for having me on. I appreciate it. I look forward to see. Where will you post it?
It's going to be posted on YouTube, our podcast platforms, and then I'll tag you on social
Oh,
media and
okay.
stuff for sure.
Perfect. Sounds good. I look forward to it.
Awesome. Thank you, Logan. Much
Yeah,
appreciated.
no problem. See ya.